Ratatouille. Latest from Disney Pixar. There's a rat. He wants to be a chef.
No, don't start like this.
Don't.
I know
What?
exactly where this is.
I
do.
No, you don't.
I do.
You don't. You so don't.
I so don't. Well, how old are we? 15? Something like this.
Let's have a clip.
I can't believe it. A real gourmet kitchen, and I get to watch.
You've read my book. Let us see how much you know, huh? Which one is a chef?
That guy.
Very good. Who is next in command?
The sous chef there. The sous is responsible for the kitchen when the chef's not around.
You are a clever rat. Now, who is that?
Oh, him? He's nobody.
Not nobody. He is part of the kitchen.
He's a plongeur or something. He washes dishes or takes out the garbage. He doesn't cook.
But he could.
No.
How do you know? What do I always say? Anyone can cook.
So,
I know all I need to know now.
No, you don't. The rat wants
You've
to
only
cook.
said about 4 words.
The rat wants to cook. The plunger wants to be a chef. The rat hides under the plunger's hat and makes the guy who's the plunger, turns him into a chef. Okay, now, look. The background to this is that there was a sort of minor fuss when this underperformed in America at $200 million, and there was some sort of rumours of falling outs between Disney and Pixar saying that Disney didn't promote the film properly and it's not going to be in the top 5 or even top 10 bestsellers of the year, and this is a great disappointment. And then it came over here and it's got much better reviews, as you can see on the posters. I mean, there have been some rave reviews, and I think there was like a 5-star in one of the broadsheets today, and you know it's been received really well. I wish that I liked it more. I'm very agnostic on the subject of Brad Bird. I still have issues with The Incredibles. I know that everything that I said about The Incredibles in terms of the way it would play to kids turned out not to be right, and I have no doubt that Ratatouille will play very, very well with kids, although I think that 110 minutes, it's too long. I don't think Brad Bird has yet made a movie that's as good as The Iron Giant, although I know that The Iron Giant is nothing like the hit that it should have been. You like The Iron Giant.
Yeah, it was fantastic. He was on the program a couple of weeks ago.
I know, and I like him. I think he's incredibly personable. There is just something rather flat and rather, I hate to say it, rather soulless about Ratatouille. It does feel like the next behemoth off the Disney Pixar production line. I mean, the animation is obviously technically very good. They've done this peculiar process whereby things that are far away are out of focus, things that are near in focus to give the illusion of looking at life through a lens. And they've gone, there's so much to technically admire. And it would be churlish to say that it's anything other than a great technical achievement. But I felt that it wasn't much more than that. There are a couple of nice things in it. Peter O'Toole plays a snotty critic, and whenever somebody plays a
snotty critic,
yeah,
I've never met one.
I know.
Of those.
Whenever anybody plays a critic in a movie, it's like and we mean you. But of course, he turns out in the end it resolves itself quite nicely. And
turns out what?
It turns out that
he saves the world.
No, he changes his mind. He stops being snotty. Yeah, and I love Peter O'Toole. I could listen to him, reading the phone book, and occasionally I think in this film he is reading the phone book. But there's a sheen to it. There's a sense of everything being in the right place, everything being test screened to pieces, everything being put together. There's nothing in it that makes me think that's going to live with me for a long time. I would again refer you back to Toy Story and Toy Story 2, which I still think are like Godfather and Godfather 2. There's just nothing that leaps out and says to me, great originality. And I know that it will work with kids. Believe me, if you've got kids half terms coming up...
What sort of age do you think this would appeal to? I think
it'll appeal across the board to youngsters because there's nothing obnoxious or, overly racy in it or anything like that. I mean, like all the Pixar stuff, it's buffed and sheened very, very nicely. And it works. It does the job. And bear in mind how wrong I was about The Incredibles. I'm sure you bear that in mind all the time.
Wrong about The Incredibles, wrong about Neil Young, wrong about Elvis.
Yeah, me and Neil, friends now.
I know, realise that.
On the telly tomorrow.
So do you feel, in saying this, and you're reviewing with a sense of disappointment, the way a father might speak to a child, saying, "I'm so disappointed in you. I had such high hopes." Is this something that you think you might be wrong about?
No, I think that I'm right about it in that I think that it is, in the end, slightly bland. I think it is, in the end, too glossy for its own good. I think there is nothing in it that leaps out and says to me, this is the great new kids movie. There's nothing edgy or dark in the way that I want it to be. There's nothing that challenges me. And in fact, I have to confess, I was bored on a few occasions. It's too long. It is too long. It just drags its own story out too long. And there we go. I know that other people are falling over themselves, and I feel actually part of that is to do with a kind of weird critical, what's the opposite of a backlash? A frontlash. That, highbrow critics have decided that actually embracing the Disney Pixar stuff in this way is the future. Actually, we must all say that each one of these films is Citizen Kane. You know what? It's not. It's not. I mean, oddly enough, I think it has exactly the same problems that The Incredibles had. That it's
going to be a huge hit and everyone's going to like it.
It will be.
Apart from you.